Welcome back, everyone. I hope you guys are here. I don't see anyone. Show me your beautiful faces. Amazing. We're now going to come to the second last. Is that second last? Well, we have this session and then we have the closing, and then you guys did it. Then you can go and party the night away or go back to bed and sleep. As I will probably be doing. But yes, so I'm gonna start, and this session is about your role as ECB, about the ups and downs and what you can be expecting and thinking about, basically. So I'm gonna start. As you guys maybe know, I am your fussy today for this session. I already said I love sharks. I love what else do I have that I really like? A fun fact about me as well is when I read a book, I read the last page first. That is something that I always do, because I love like the build up to it. What else do I like? We have 2 cats at the moment, and I have a cat allergy. That's also a fun fact. So it's a little bit hard. But yeah, otherwise, I'm gonna take you through this last session, the proper last session, and then we will be having the closing afterwards. But yes, to kind of like introduce you on what we're going to talk today about is we're going to have a little introduction. We will have dream versus reality, preconception of ECB, what makes ECB so valuable, and you are not alone. Maybe you already can tell what we have under here, but let's start with dream versus reality. So as ECB, our dream would be that all EPs are happy with their exchange. That would be amazing. LCs delivering flawless exchanges, LCs submitting all of the evidence for the audit, LCs approaching you directly when they have a case, MC informing you about all the things that you need, MC inviting you to all of the conferences, and you have everything under control. That would be amazing. But we have to be realistic as well. Not every EP is happy with their experience, unfortunately. That is the reality. We have obviously EPs that are happy with their exchanges, but there's also a lot of EPs that are not happy with their exchanges. This can be because an LC fucked up, they forgot about the EP. That has happened before as well. It can also be that the EP is being difficult. That has happened before as well, that EPs, we just had a story that the EP complained that it was raining. Not sure what IC can do about that, but it was a complaint that the LC received. So you will encounter different kinds of EPs, different kinds of experiences, as well as not every LC will deliver a flawless exchange. You will have some LCs that are exceeding, that are amazing, that are doing everything that you tell them. They read every email that you send, but not every LC will be doing that. Then as well, not every LC will be submitting all of the evidence for audit. You will encounter that as well, that you will have some LCs that do submit everything, but you will also encounter LCs that are struggling with it. Is it through education? Is it because they're overwhelmed? It doesn't really, like, it can have different meanings behind it, but unfortunately, that's why we do audit, to ensure that they're being accountable. And maybe one day they will be delivering all of the documents and evidence. But that, again, ECB audit system is sustainable, so we hope that the change in the future, everything will be flawless and they will be actually submitting all of the evidence. As well as LCs might not approach you if they have a case or they have questions. You will encounter that as well. You will have some proactive LCs and you have some LCs that have no idea what they're doing. And once they come to you, they will be like, oh, yes, I've had this before from experience where I asked an LC and I'm like, oh, what is up with this EP? And they're like, oh, actually she is finished, but she's extending, but she doesn't have a contract and her visa actually expired, so she's illegal here right now. And I'm like, what? Okay. So in reality, not every LC will be approaching you if they need help. As well as MC might not inform you about all of the things that you need to know. The MC-ECB synergy is something that is very special. In some entities, it does work. In some entities, it's very difficult because obviously the MC is one unit. They have their meetings. And if you have your MC-ECB responsible, you need to ensure that that you understand exactly what each responsibilities are for each one, because otherwise you will not be informed. You might hear it through a newsletter that they downscaled something new and you think like, oh, shouldn't I have been informed about this? So it can happen. And as well as being invited to all conferences. From my own experience as well, I know that some entities don't have that issue, but from my experience as well, I was never invited. I always had to be very strict and persistent with it, ask about it. So that can happen as well. And you most definitely don't have everything under control. You will be encountering situations which you might have not thought were possible. To be honest, this was something that ECB opened up my eyes, is that you think you have everything under control, but you don't. You can control a lot of things as the entity control board, but there will be situations, there will be challenges that you most likely will not have under control, and you just need to step back, think about it, and take the necessary steps. But yeah, so looking at all of this, why is maybe that everything is not perfect or flawless? Obviously nothing is perfect, as Hannah Montana said, nobody's perfect. We live and we learn it. So there is one point of it, but at the same time as well, ECB has been going through a rough patch the last 2 years. Obviously, when the APIP was downscaled, the ECB got more importance, and since then it's been a little bit of a struggle to get this importance really out. Some entities are really good with it, some entities are not, but we also have some preconceptions about ECB that you will maybe face as well. First of it, ECB just wants to punish the entity. They don't care about anything. They just want to punish you, and they want to punish all of the LCs. ECB just wants to complicate things. It's very easy, but now ECB comes and they complicate all of these things. ECB just wants to feel powerful. There's also that we've had comments before where it's like you just want to abuse your power. ECB just wants to create more work. Is that true though? Is it really true? I hope you guys don't agree. Maybe you can give me in the chat, do you agree with this? Is this what ECB is all about? No. Yes. Exactly. No, it's not. It's definitely not. Because as ECB, we don't want to punish the entity. It is what I said about the auditing as well, right? It is more about actually understanding and helping them, because in the end, we do want to help the EP's experience, right? It's not about just saying, hey, actually, I want to go around and give all of these sanctions. I'm going to find you all, and I want to have the power, and I want to see this LC being frozen. No, it's literally not about that. We're literally, as ECB and ICB, we focus on the EPs, and we don't want to create more work. Like I said as well, it's more about actually following what we're supposed to do. If it's customer support, if it's board development, if it's auditing, it's more about actually checking, hey, we have these guidelines, we have all of these things that are supposed to be doing. So why are you not doing them? So it is not about complicating things. It's just about actually complying to all of these things and helping people to understand that. And I think that's actually something really beautiful about ECB. So what makes ECB actually valuable? I think that is a very good question. And I think this is something as well that is a long-term ambition of ICB, that we want ECBs to feel valuable in their entities. So what I want to highlight first is that ECB always acts customer-centric. And like I said, this is literally the goal of ISEC, right? We want to develop leadership. We want to achieve peace. And I think it is a beautiful goal. And we only can actually deliver that if we have our customers, they go through these experiences, they have leadership developing experiences, and we actually keep our promise, right? They go through this experience, they come back and they're like, wow, I want to change the world as well. I feel so much more solution oriented. I want to enjoy participation. And it's more like, it can also be a small step, a small mindset change or anything like that. That is literally our goal. And I think that ECB is the one that is actually ensuring this is, I think, something really, really special about ECB. Because it's not about that we want to have more exchanges, right? It's more about that we actually want to have the quality of the exchanges, and that we want, that we want the EPs to, that the experience that we have, it's not about having more approvals, having more opens. No, it's like what we have, we want it to be good. And I think this is something really special. But I want to ask you guys as well, and I want you guys to share a little bit in breakout rooms about when was the moment that you realized that ECB is valuable, and why do you think that ECB is valuable? So connecting these two, I can maybe share, before we go into the breakout rooms, my moment, because I'm sure if you've been here a while, you've heard my moment before already, but it really changed my mindset on ECB and ISEC. Because when I applied, when I applied for ECB, I didn't apply straight away for ECB. I actually applied for the NST, and I got rejected, and they said, try out the ECB. And I was like, I don't want to do that. It's all about complaining EPs. Everyone's unhappy. It's just some kind of call center, basically, where we take care of complaints. But the ECB chair back then, when I was talking to her, she said, yeah, it's about that and managing it, but also about preventing it. And to me, that was kind of like this massive light bulb that came up, and I was like, wow, what? I'm like, we're actually going to focus on the experience delivery after being a VP OGV, going through all of these marketing peaks, pushing for approvals, I was finally in a space where by ECB, where it was literally all about the experience delivery. And in that moment, I was like, yes, I can actually have a proper impact, and I can actually really focus on the experience of what we're delivering. It doesn't matter how many approvals, it's literally just having these EPs and ensuring that they have a good experience. So that was my moment. But nee. But I'm gonna put you guys now in breakout rooms. I will start them shortly, and then you guys can talk about these 2 questions and think about when was your moment that you were like, yes, do you know what? I think that ECB is a really valuable place. And yes, so let me start the rooms and I'll see you in a second. Is it okay so far?
I'm loving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sometimes a little bit hesitant if I'm just talking a bunch of shit.
No, you're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah.
When was your moment? Did you guys also have a moment?
Actually, yes. So my moment was, so first of all, yeah, I had the intention to join ECB, but I joined without knowing what ECB like really is. There was a vacancy, and at that time I had graduated university. But then I was like, I wasn't impressed, or I wasn't happy with how I ended my ISEC journey in college. So I was like, if there is any way I could still be part of ISEC and still contribute, then that would be great, because I felt like there was more that I could do. So then I realized that there was this role, the ECD role, that was vacant. Like, not even the chair role, it was a team member role. So I applied to be a team member for audit and education. And then, like 2 months into the role, I was still learning. No, 2 to 3 months into the role, I was still learning. And then, boom, like the ECB chair had some personal issues. He had like a mental breakdown. Like, so he had to resign to take care of his mental health and everything. And then I had to take up the role. So here I was, I think it was in December thereabouts, I started taking up the role. And then there instantly there was a case that I needed to solve. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to solve this? First of all, I was still trying to find my way out of this whole situation. I was still trying to learn what the ECB actually is and all those things. I didn't even have any touch point with ICB because I didn't even know ICB existed, right? And so, like, my only point of contact with someone who at least knew something about ECB was with the predecessor of the chair that resigned. I knew her because, like, we were in the same LC. So I talked to her, I asked her, how do they go about to solve the cases and those kind of things. So she taught me one thing or two. I decided to go through the entire email thread to understand how they solve the cases and everything. I was like petrified. I was so scared about losing the case, because at that point I was like, ECBs are supposed to win cases. My notion there was, ECBs, we are lawyers. We need to win the case. Yes, that was my whole perception about ECB then. And then, like, moving on, like, I'm like, not I managed, I didn't win the case. I mean, at the end of the day, it's, the law that is doing whatever it is. But my MC did not have to pay anything because of, what was the facts of the case and everything. And that was it. And then, so I was like, I had a little bit of confidence. I was like, I guess I can do this. I can do this. And then in January came, I was still finding my way. I started to have a bit of a touch point with ICB. That's when I got to know my coach and everything. And in February, that was when, COVID became, that was February 2020. That was when COVID became very, very intense and everything. And there was this stress here and there. People were breaking approvals and etc. A whole lot of issues. That was when, that was the point where I realized that I needed to take this really seriously, because the decisions that I make there could affect someone's life, right? Because at that point in time, I just, even with the first case that I was solving, I just felt like it was a game. I needed to win this game, It didn't really dawn on me that it was actually someone's life that I was playing with. Like I had to make the decisions. But then COVID hit, and I had to make all these decisions, had to create a risk management, and all these kind of things. And that was when it hit me. Wow, ECB is really relevant in the entity, because we help to create all these things and give our opinions, not our recommendations based on trends and everything, on risk management, risk avertment, break of status, even managing cases and managing EPs and all those things. And without the ECB, it's going to be very difficult for entities or LCs to do this, because they are in for their personal gain. Like, they want the profits. So they don't necessarily look at the other point of view to ensure that that other person or that other party is also being protected in everything that is happening, right? So that was the moment when I realized that ECB is very valuable, and I need to take the job or the role very seriously. That was so since then I never missed any touch points with ICB. I attended all global calls, all the regional and cluster calls, all my one-to-ones. Oh my God, I was that was when I really took it serious.
You were a star.
I actually decided to extend my term or ECB term and all those things, because I felt like there was more that I could do, and I wasn't done yet. I felt like I couldn't have ended on that note, because I had just found my footing and everything. And I really needed to do more, because I felt like, there's much more I could give. Yeah, so that was my point.
Aww.
That's cute. I wish I knew Richard when he was ECB.
I was so lost. I was like, oh my God. Especially when we had to create the whole audit system and everything. And that was the first time our entity had an audit system. We literally had nothing, nothing. Had to create everything from scratch. Especially at that point in time too, I didn't have members. I was trying to find members and all those things. So at the same time finding members, I was also working on the audit system and making sure during those times I wasn't sleeping. Honestly, I wasn't sleeping, and my whole work schedule was more flexible, because there were points in times that I was working from home, at the bank, I was working from home and those kind of things. So it wasn't that much. So I had a lot of time to dedicate to the ECB work and all those things. I actually loved it. And I really miss my ECB, term. I really miss it.
Aww. Yeah, to be honest as well, when I joined ICB, I was like, how do these people do this? That don't have ECB. Does the MC not care about the cases at all? Do they not break?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what? How? It's actually nuts.
When was your moment, Gwen? Oh, you already shared your moment.
I was like, okay, dude.
My moment, I guess, was when... Okay, here's the thing. For ECB Georgia at the time, there was no ECB culture. And when I got selected, that I'm operations manager, I was like, okay, cool. You know, like I already had 2 like major NST operations roles previously, so like I know a few things about operations and like APIP. And then we started like after the building, like we started like having calls with the LCPs and the MC team, and I was like, and like in every call they'd be like, you guys are actually like, you know, like we never knew about this, thank you so much. And I'm like, so now I'm teaching the MC and I'm teaching the LCPs. I was like, what the fuck? And like we were in this like WhatsApp group, like the ECB and the MC team, and like the ECB and the BOP, and they were all like kissing our asses like all day, and I was like, this is heaven, you know. And I was like, yeah, it's important. Like especially I feel like if you have an NST like experience and then you have an ECB experience, you actually do see the difference.
Yeah.
Like even though my NST experience was pretty damn strong, like it was like in ISAC in Tunisia, like OGV at the time, you know, like before COVID, like it was it, you know. And then COVID hit, and obviously I was still like NST at the time, and like shit hit as well, but like I don't know, it was never like hectic or scary, but like with ECB it is hectic and scary. And like that's when you're like, okay, shit. Like with NST you have no like accountability technically, you just do your job, like whether you want to do it or you don't, like shit will still go through, nothing will stop.
Yeah.
Like,
if shit
you're
hits
ECB,
the fan, you message ECB.
Yeah, if you're ECB and like you don't do your job, well, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like it's embarrassing. So 1 more minute. It's a minute, Gwen. It's not minutes.
No, it doesn't.
Girl.
I don't care.
I'm tired.
I'm so hungry. Like I literally haven't even drunk water since morning.
What?
I'm
Why?
so tired.
You have to hydrate.
Yeah.
After this, I'm going to drink water and eat a lot of food.
I don't even know what I want to eat. Like I can't eat things.
Soup?
But I'm done with soup.
I would have to order another pizza.
Richard. Like at least pasta. Trust me, when you start having intestinal issues, you won't like your daily pizza habits.
Okay, how about eating fries and chicken?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna close the room.
Isn't that worse?
I mean, chicken has protein, and like fries are not good, obviously, but like they have like, I don't know. Like I think it would be better than pizza still, because pizza has like lots of cheese, and it also has like carbs. So like, bitch. Who am I to talk about healthy eating? First of all, put me back in my place. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. We have a sharing time. Who wants to share? We'll just do 1 or 2 sharings. Don't be shy. I want to hear your moments. Evie.
I can go first about that.
Oh, wait. Evie, and then you go, Ali, okay?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Amazing. I will try to help people that do not want to speak, and I will be the brave one today. So yeah, I think my time that I revalued ECB, I think was like in the first month that I was a VP, that nobody knew about the audit or like valued the audit, let's say. And yeah, I remember my predecessor like coming to me and he said to me like, you know what, we have audit, do it. And I was like, what is audit? I mean, I don't have literally no idea. And then I had my director, which is actually Maritin at that time, and she was like, you know what, we are here for you to help you. We have education, we will do transitions, and we will be here for you to support you, like in any way, in order to do the audit. And by month, we were always getting better. And I think this was the time that I really valued ECB. And like for the second question, I think that ECB is really valuable for many reasons, but one of the most important, at least for me, is that through our work, either audit, PD, or like CS, we try to provide quality experiences because that's the core of Isaac in the end. So yeah, I think that's one of the most important things that we are doing as ECBs.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. I agree. And I love that you're that you're raising your hand. You're really the successor of Maritina. Amazing. Ali, what about you?
I was talking with another previous ECB chair about what's the importance of the ECB. And I think in this conference, you said that it's about like the audits, probably like about the sustainability of Isaac. And I believe that it's true, like, because even if you're VP or LCP, you might not face the consequences because like the mistakes happened in your LC might stay inside of your LC also. But this one has real consequences for the people, and the responsibility rate is so much higher. So I believe this is much more functional job compared to other Isaac duties.
Yes, thank you for sharing. 100% agree. We were just sharing as well before, and it is true. Like when shit hits the fan, people call up the ECB and they're like, hey, I need help. Amazing. Anyone else wants to share? Otherwise, I will continue. No. Okay. Amazing. Yes. So overall, what we saw here, being ECB is not easy. It is definitely not easy. Like we said, if shit hits the fan, the MC, the LCs, they will be like, whoa, help, please, ECB, we're in a sticky situation, we need help. And you'll see us as well. Like the ECB challenges you on a way different level. It's serious business, right? We have real consequences, but in the end, we also have control. We can actually implement things that change the way, like sustainable change, right? We can say like, okay, do you know what, this is not working out, we need to find a way on how we improve it. We can say to the MC, hey, we need to change how this education is working, this is not working out, and we can actually have proper control of how the entity is evolving. We might not see it straight away, but we will see it in the future generations, which I think is as well really incredible. And you are not alone. I really want to give that to you guys as well. You're not alone. You met people now here. You will meet more people. You have amazing support systems. You have the other ECBs. You have your MC as well. Like I said, the MC ECB synergy can be something really good. It can be very challenging as well. But honestly, if you lay down what you want from them and how you want to work with them, I think you can build a really good really good relationship with them, as well as the LCs. Like you will have people from the LCs that are really interested in ECB, that are really interested in the experience delivery, and use these people to really bond with them and understand their reality. And as well, of course, you have ICB as well. Like we were here for you. We're literally here to help every entity. There's a lot of entities, but you have responsibles that are here. You have regional calls. You have the global ECB call. You have one-to-ones. You also have other events like today. We will have the ECB summit as well, and use it. I think this is one of the most important things that I want to give to you guys today as well, is that you are in control of your experience. So make the best out of it. Come to these like regional calls, involve yourself in the Telegram group. I think this is something really special. Like, trust me, when I'm saying you're not alone, you're really not alone, because if you're going through a situation, there's probably another chair that is also going through a situation. It is very interesting in regional codes when people are sharing their experiences and what has been happening in their week, what crazy situation they're facing at the moment and solutions that they have to find. So yeah, you are in control of your experience, so use it. You're not alone. You have amazing people here, and that's it. Thank you so much. We have the closing now, so last session, and then you guys are free to go. So I'm gonna give it over